We have a very skewed view of fairness, we human beings. We expect certain treatment, and when people are treated better than we, or people are treated worse than we think, well, we take umbrage, don't we? And yet, many times, our fairness meter is really not based upon the right criterion. And today, we're going to learn that God is gracious to all of us. That's the best way, and you're going to find out why on today's episode.
Welcome to Everyday Truth with Kurt Skelly. We believe the Bible is true and relevant to everyone, everywhere, every day. If today's conversation is a help to you, take a moment to leave a review or share it with a friend. Thanks for listening. Now, let's join Kurt for today's episode.
Hey friends, here in Matthew chapter 20 today, brand new chapter, and looking forward to telling you a story that Jesus told 2,000 years ago with a really, really important application. So let's dive in. Matthew 20 and verse number 1. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. This was not an uncommon thing in Jesus' day for someone that had a business or a farm or a vineyard, in this case, to hire day laborers. Why? Because certain seasons of the year would require all hands on deck labor. Certain times of the year don't really need anybody working and tending, or maybe just a few people. But times like perhaps harvesting season or other seasons, you would need many more laborers. So it was not uncommon in those days to hire somebody as a day laborer. I remember when I went to India years ago and stayed in a very poor section of Tamil Nadu, which is the lowest province in India. And boy, it just shocked me when I got up early in the morning and I saw all these people that were sitting on the side of the road that were waiting for businessmen or farmers or whoever to come and hire them for the day. So the concept of a day laborer is in my mind because I've seen it. I've seen it even in my own experience. Look at verse number 2. And when he had agreed with them, so they're kind of bartering what the pay will be for the day. When he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day. Now, don't picture a Lincoln cent today or try to make the connection to minimum wage or anything like that. That would be a day's labor. That would have been a denarius. That would have been what you would receive for a day's labor. So this is fair, I think is the point I want to make. So he had agreed a penny for a day. He sent them into his vineyard. So far so good. This is early in the day. He's putting laborers out in the field. It's probably 6 a.m. and they're out. They've made their agreement for the amount that they're going to be paid. All is well. Look at verse 3. And he went out about the third hour. So this is 6 o'clock in the morning, now 9 o'clock in the morning. And he saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. So obviously this householder has a reputation of trustworthiness. They're willing to go work for him without even really knowing what they're going to get paid. Maybe they're thinking we'll get almost a penny. We're not working the full day, but we trust this householder is an honest man and a gracious man. So they go and work. Verse 5. Again, he went out about the 6th and 9th hours. So he goes out again at noon. He goes out again at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, in those days, you would work a 12-hour shift. So, wow, he still needs laborers at noontime, still needs laborers at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he did likewise. In other words, he made the same deal. I'll pay you. I'm not going to tell you how much, but I'll pay you at the end of the day. These people needed work, and if they even just get a fraction of a penny, hey, that's something better than nothing. And about the 11th hour, well, that's extreme. I mean, the day ends at the 12th hour, So why would you hire somebody 1 hour before the shift ends? But in this story, that's the way it unfolds. And so about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They said, Because we have no man that's hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that ye shall receive. No, I'll give you the opportunity. I know it's the end of the day. It might not be beneficial to me so much, but I know it'll be a great benefit to you. And so go, and I will give you what is right. Verse 8, so when even was come, so now, hey, the night shift, or rather the day shift is over, and the hours have been completed. It's 6 o'clock. And so when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers. Now it's payday. And that's the way they would do it back in those days. You'd pay someone at the end of a workday and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. Well, that's odd. So you're going to pay everybody who worked today, but let's start with the guy that worked for 1 hour. And then we'll go to the guy that worked for 3 hours, and then the guy that worked for 6 hours, and so on. And it says in verse 9, and when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received a penny. Now think about this. They're the first in line. They've been there 1 hour. And everyone else is thinking, wow, they got a penny for working 1 hour? What a gracious boss. No doubt they're thinking that. How kind. And what they're thinking is, and if he's giving them a penny for 1 hour, he's probably going to give us a whole lot more than that. I mean, after all, that would be fair. We've worked longer than he has, so we're going to get more than he has. Well, wait a minute, though. The landowner, the householder had said, I will give you what is right. And what is right is not determined by the expectation of the worker, but by the grace of the owner. And remember, at the beginning of the day, he had set the whole day's wage at 1 penny. So there's no reason other than just a human skewed view of fairness why they would be expecting any more. Verse 10, and when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more. And they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the goodman of the house. Boy, they complained in low tones and critical speech. They began to complain about how unfair, how unjust, how evil is that goodman that would do that. And here was the rationale. These last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us. So their complaint, their murmuring, has turned into a complaint face to face. They're speaking directly to the goodman who by grace hired them. And they say, this isn't fair. We have borne the burden and heat of the day. We've worked harder, we've worked longer, and we've worked under harder conditions. But he answered one of them and said, I love the way the goodman responds. He says, friend, isn't that good? He's still being gracious. He was gracious to give them the opportunity. He was gracious to give them payment. And he's gracious in his response to their unjustified complaints. Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst thou not agree with me for a penny? Take that thine is and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do that to do what I will with mine own? It's not your money, it's my money. It's not your field, it's my field. It's not your decision, it's my decision. Is thine eye evil because I am good? Have you now adopted a different attitude just because I've chosen to express grace on other people? so the last shall be first. We heard this at the end of last episode. The last shall be first. Yeah, these last people that worked for 1 hour received what the first had received. And the first last, many be called, but few are chosen. So what's the point that Jesus is making? The point that Jesus is making here is that this parable is not about what we earn and the hard work that we do and the comparisons that we inevitably make with each other or next to each other. No, the parable is about a good man who has grace, and that grace is equally bestowed upon all. And he offers even the one that had worked for 1 hour the same reward as the one that had worked all day long. Now, there's a couple really good applications in Scripture to this. I think the application of the Jew and the Gentile. The Jew, they've been God's people from the time of Abraham. And yet Jesus said, these Gentiles that have come along, this is what Romans 9 and Romans 11 are all about. They enter into that covenant. They're Johnny-come-lately, but they get the same grace and the same acceptance and the same identity when they put their faith in Jesus Christ. And then I think about the fact that some people are saved earlier in life and spend their lives serving Jesus. Others become aware of the grace of the good man much later on in life, like the thief on the cross. And yet the reward of eternal life is equally bestowed upon all. Boy, I'm so glad that it's not a matter of my works, but it's a matter of his grace that I received the good inheritance from the Lord. And that needs to be our perspective. If we begin looking at how God rewards God, how God blesses other people, and insert our own skewed understanding of fairness, we're going to look at God through a distorted lens. Instead of just saying, none of us deserve that job. None of us deserved that pay. None of us deserved that grace. He was good to all of them at different times in the day, and they all received the full measure of the grace that was right to give in the mind of the good man. And so let's not look at God any differently. I hope that helps today. We'll end there in verse number 16, and we'll jump into a brand new story next episode. I know you'll join us for that. Until then, God bless you, my friends.